Thanks.
I love you!
Capabe. Friends, family, fellow Singaporeans. Today we read the Straits Times. You will find two very prominent people of our political landscape telling you what to do. The Senior Minister, Alec Tok, as well as our Minister Mentor, Lee Kuan Yew. In today's papers, what has been happening over the last 40 to 50 years is being replayed. Let me explain. The words, "you will regret it." Right? You will regret it. Yes. How many times have you heard this? You will regret it. I want to talk a little bit about this. These elections are one of the most important elections in Singapore's history. They are important because for the last two elections, our problems have been put into second place. In 2001, the senior minister, who was then a prime minister, told Singaporeans that you better don't vote for anybody else but the PAP because the world is in danger. Because that was after 9/11, right? After 9/11. So, Mr. Goh said, if you don't want terrorists to endanger our lives, you better vote for me. Mas Salamat escape. In 2006, we thought that we had the opportunity finally to deal with all these issues which we today feel more than ever before. Foreigners competing with us for our jobs, dwindling savings, high healthcare costs, escalating SDP prices. All these issues which we want to talk about today, we also wanted to talk about in 2006. But no chance. Why? They got every Singaporean talking only about one thing, one missing form. One missing form. Oh, the missing form didn't appear. He pointed a finger. These elections, we Singaporeans cannot let the PAP get away with it anymore. No, no more. These elections are just too important. Just too important. Our lives have been turned topsy-turvy in the last 10 years. I've been living in the US for about 12 years. And in the last 3 or 4 years, I come back very regularly because I've worked in Shanghai and Beijing. And I wanted to get reacquainted with Singapore and Singaporeans again. So the last 2 years I've been back intermittently. Every 3 or 4 weeks I'll be back. And the only phrase I can use to describe what has happened to our Singapore is a Chinese one. So if you don't mind me just using these 2 Chinese words, I'm just going to let you know how I feel. I come back And there are these two Chinese words in my head. 家变. 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 My home has changed. Changed beyond recognition. You come home, your father is not around. Where is he? Casino. Why is he at the casino? Why is he at the casino? You know the reasons. You know the reasons. If you are 35 in Singapore and you lose your job, you will not get a job of the same pay. Right?
Yes!
If you are 45 and you lose your job, you will not get a job, full stop. Right? So if your father is above 55, he's gone without a job. Every day he pretends to go downstairs to look for a job, but what to do? All he has is 爱不嫁人呀，bo pian啊，$100, off he goes to the casino. Gambling his life and time away. This is not the answer to Singapore's economic problems. By having a casino, 65,000 jobs were supposed to have been created by Mr. Lim Boon Heng's acquiescence to the casino. Jobs that were meant for us. If you go to the casino right now, I haven't been there, I can't afford $100. More than 60% of the jobs have gone to foreigners. Why? And the casino is supposed to be attracting tourists. If you take a closer look, you will find, I'm told, that more than 80% of the gamblers are Singaporeans. What is happening, my friends? What is happening to this Singapore that we all love? What is happening? You go on the MRT, it's filled with different languages, different faces. Look, Singaporeans have always been embracing of foreign friends, always. In the 80s, we welcomed Filipinos. 90s, we welcomed people from Burma. You know, Singaporeans are loving people. If you take a look at any donation drive, you will find that the poor people donate more than the rich people, right? We are loving people. We are loving people. But when your line is crossed, when you are being pushed in the MRT station, when you can't go in anymore. And what does the SMRT say? Can go in, Singaporeans don't want to go in. Is this fair? Has she ever taken her own MRT? Never. And then what happens during YOG? Instead of 4 carriages per 5 minutes, suddenly it's okay to have 6 carriages. So the congestion was solved. The congestion was solved not for Singaporeans, but for the foreign athletes. Why? Why like that? Why like that? Because we Singaporeans have let the PAP get away with it. That's why. That's why. Because since 2001, despite all these problems, we've got nice people, right? We look at our history books, we look around, we see the flats, we see the grass is cut, we say, okay lah, alright, okay? 1960s, still got atap houses, still got the pipes, you go there, fill your water, line up. Things have changed for the better. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. We swallow. You experienced that, right? Swallow, right, sir? No. Your face shows it. You have swallowed before. So have I. So have you. And you. 2001 swallow. Swallow. 2006 swallow again. Now, up to here. Up to here, how to swallow some more. Cannot swallow anymore. These are such important elections, my dear friends, that we must think very clearly. We must think very clearly what we want for ourselves, for our children and their children. We must admit it to ourselves as a country and as a people that this government has lost its way. Right? It's lost its way. How can the government put other people in front of us, Singaporeans? If we don't take care of ourselves, who's going to take care of us? I've lived in the US. I go and work in China very, very often. I tell you something. Very different. The picture that's painted for us is very different from reality. Here we have very junior ministers saying things like when Dr. Lee Nio says, Vivian, I think we should give the poorest 3,000 families in Singapore an increase in their subsidies. And what does the Minister of Community Development and Youth and Sports say? He says, what? He says what? How much you want? What kind of meal do you want? You want a meal in a restaurant, a food court, or a coffee shop?
Minister makan at restaurant.